And I'm recording. Cool. Awesome. What's up to whoever the hell is watching? I'm Teddy from the Lucy's. I'm here with DJ, a super talented and interesting artist that I discovered through Reddit. DJ drummer on Reddit.
Yeah,
Uh, cool stuff. Medium balloons. And I guess like the first question I need to ask is like, how long have you been working with balloons and making balloon sculptures?
it's been almost a decade.
A decade.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I've had a pretty international childhood, and about 10 years ago, we moved back here to the States from
Mm.
Taiwan,
Okay.
where we were at for 4 years.
Mm.
And I was about 16 at the time and needed a job. And
Mm.
my parents knew how to do balloons from their old fundraising days. We kind of
Mm.
grew up in a cult, and so that was one of the only ways that people were allowed to raise money.
Mm.
So by happy coincidence, I came across the skill, and within 2 weeks, I had passed them up.
That's what's
I
up.
was, of course, lucky enough to get started in the time of YouTube,
Mm.
and at that time there was just such a huge plethora of free content, and
Mm.
everybody was sharing, and there's just such an amazing culture of uh, just fostering learning and welcoming newcomers in the balloon community. So yeah, I really took off like a rocket.
That's awesome, and you're kind of like blowing my mind here. Like the concept of like balloon community is not something that like I guess I was aware of,
We
but
have a huge
what's that like?
international community. Like everybody's got their own local community,
Mm.
especially because there's it's not such a huge profession. It's not swamped with people.
Mm.
The balloon decor business, if you're doing like classical decorations, that's a little bit more competitive
Right.
because the initial ceiling is a bit lower for
Mm.
entry, and it's not as artistic of a process. But the twisters, in every city, we all know each other, work with each other on different jobs, call each other up for help, and just get together for balloon jams.
That's
So
awesome. Balloon jams, like I want to be at a
that's
balloon jam.
level, and
Mm.
there's like national and international events that go on
Mm.
every year, and so we get to meet all these people that we've interacted with online for so long, and just have a good time.
So you're a musician as well, right? I'm assuming the drummer.
I am the drummer.
Okay, so music thrives on like local communities.
Yeah,
But like, is your experience in like the Twister community differ from your experience in like the music community? Is it similar, or is it more friendly, less friendly?
I mean, I think it's about as friendly as it can get,
Got you.
and if you're in a good music scene, that'll be the same way.
Hmm.
The thing with balloons is you learn a lot more from other people,
Hmm.
with different hands-on stuff.
Hmm.
So there's a lot more cooperation and giving in that kind of way, where you're not usually like meeting up with a bunch of different musicians and teaching them a fill or a riff or something. It's
Right, right.
more of a personal process.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's awesome because I would assume like it's popular. I'm literally only found out of this, not just me, the other two people who are in the band with me. Like our minds were blown. We saw your RBG art come through my Reddit, and I was like, oh damn, like look at this, and everyone was just kind of like, oh that's awesome, and then we saw, oh yes, oh, I thought you were gonna pull something out. I was like all hype. Then we saw Charles Darwin, and I was like, holy crap! Like, there's a whole like, and it was just deep dive. I was like, lurking through your entire friggin' Reddit, and that's when I reached out to you. And I'm so glad I did. The work you did for us is amazing, and we're very excited to have it. So, like, are there any projects? I named a couple. Are there any that you're particularly proud of where you're like, oh, like that's the one I want to define me or whatever?
Yeah. Well, I think most of those projects that I really view as like what are gonna be like my magnum opuses, the things
Mm.
I'm most proud of, are like all in my head, sort of
Mm.
like
Mm.
still like haven't gotten there yet.
Mm.
Um, because with such constructed sort of preconceptualized stuff, in my mind it's got to be perfect, and if it's perfect now, I'm just gonna wait however long it takes. I'll show you one. This is the one that really kicked off I'll show you the first large scale one I did, which I'm still pretty proud of. It was about a year of twisting experience that I had. And you can see, like, I did this weird thing to try to get some scale on the piece, which is sort of like do it in more of a boxy wireframe shape. But it was around 20-foot dragon. It's gone for like Smog the Dragon.
That's what's up.
So my technique wasn't there, and even my, balloon stock wasn't there. It was all just skinny balloons and stuff, but my ambition was there.
Clearly. How long did that take you? Do you remember?
It took 3 days. Yeah. And it is, I would love to remake that someday and just like do it with the skills and the technical knowledge I have now. But I was doing a lot of like birthday parties and children's entertainment and stuff. I would do some stuff for fun on the side, but I never really considered balloons as my serious art form. It was always music that was my main outlet. But 2 years ago, it's almost 3 years ago now, I made this piece on Valentine's Day. And
oh yes, I did see this one.
This was my really serious sort of emotional piece, and everybody loved it, and I loved it. It's sort of a Pagliacci, the sad clown kind of thing, because I was dealing with a lot of depression and that kind of stuff at the time, and being a depressed clown or a children's entertainer is not easy.
And I imagine working in that kind of just really like
face and make everybody happy while you're struggling. So that was kind of my internalized sort of representation of that. But that was what really kicked off my desire to take it further as just art for the sake of art. Dig deep in my own stuff. And not soon after that, I did this smaller piece, which is a memorial piece for my sister. I tried to incorporate all these elements, and this was actually a design that I did this in preparation for getting a tattoo. This was me designing a tattoo out of balloons first.
That's awesome.
And I've got it right here.
Oh man, that's so sick.
By this amazing artist in Houston here, Sean Will.
That's what's up. Holy crap. You designed your own tattoo.
Yeah, out of
balloons.
balloons.
Made it into a sculpture with balloons and then got it inked on you?
Uh-huh.
Dude, that's like, holy crap. That's amazing. That's amazing. And like, I mean, I see the smile on your face. Like, you know how awesome that is. Like, there are too many people out there who can go through that whole process from beginning to end.
Yeah, I love showing people that balloon and they ooh and on over it, and I go, and check this out.
That's awesome. Something I noticed too is like you have a nice eye for photography. You did. Thank you so much for the behind the scenes stuff that you sent me. That was like a deep dive in and of itself, because for someone who wasn't familiar with this, just the amount of preparation and like dedication to the different aspects of it isn't something I could really comprehend until I saw all that behind the scenes stuff. Can you like kind of just walk us, it's me. Can you walk me through just like the beginning to end, like, and was there any part in particular that like really like grinds your gears?
Sure. Well, as far as my photography skills and even most of the equipment that I use, I have my parents to thank, and my dad as well, because I moonlight as a wedding videographer when I'm not balloons, and that was something that he got me into as well. And that sort of set the standard for me of excellence in terms of capturing what I do, because I have the capability and the know-how. I have no excuse not to get the best end result that I can. So with your project, we first started with some pictures of you guys, and then I sketched out the design. Let me actually bring it up, because I did not send that, and it'll be really interesting to see a comparison. It'll take me just a second. And here you go. This was the design that I came up with, because I know how my basic balloon structure goes. So it was pretty close to how it came out in the end. And I decided to do a blue and red for the sign, really make it pop. And I built all of the, oh, my screen went tiny.
I can still see you, and I can still see this awesome sketch.
No, oh, you can see the awesome sketch.
Indeed, I can.
Okay, which means I don't know what just unpinned video. No. Oh, here you go. Okay. Yeah. So I made all three of you guys. I think I got the caricature pretty well. I hope you agree.
Yeah.
Caricatures are and lookalikes are something that I've really focused on over the past 2 years. With like the Ginsberg balloon and the Darwin balloon that I made on Darwin Day a year ago, and a couple of other stuff. It's been sort of a personal push of mine. But anyways, I made y'all's characters, and I could have made a larger backdrop and done all of you in one take, but I decided to do each one separately so that we could get the camera straight on, get more of an orthographic view, so it looks illustrative, almost like it's just all done on computer, because I wanted that sort of unique design look. So that was a design choice on my part. For the letters, I made all the letters, and I just took a little piece of tape and stuck it to a little piece of floral wire.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
Picture of each item, and individually edited it and slapped it on there.
So as far as like the sketching goes, how long did it take you to get like the thoughts in your head? Because I mean, you're like drawing not just the caricature, you're literally, drawing the design of like how you're going to build it. Was that kind of like, was it like a learning curve in that, or is it something that just like came naturally to you through?
It's really a vision, like all of my artistic pieces all start out as pretty like vivid visions in my head. And if I can't really come up with something, I'll just mull it over, leave it a couple days, and sometimes I never come up with anything that I'm happy enough to execute with. But for like the clown piece and the memorial piece, the Ginsberg piece, and I have some other cool ones that I'll show, but like they all start off as this really vivid vision, and my metric for success is how close to that vision I can get. With which the piece that I did for you is pretty close.
Yeah, geez, like I mean, there's like expectations, like when you like throw something like this out there, you know, like, and then when we saw it, we were just like, oh shit, like this is way better than we kind of, you know, like that thought in our head. You exceeded our expectations.
I've got some history doing band art for
mm,
various bands that I've had. I'll plug Terra, which is my main metal band that I play the drums on. We're not really doing anything right now with COVID and everyone dealing with
yeah,
personal life. Life is hard right now.
word.
But we have a full album out
Nice.
that I did the album art for, and done a couple posters for various other bands. So I've got sort of the knack for it, I think.
I mean, yeah, I think that was kind of like for us the thing that made us the most comfortable reaching out to you is the fact that you're also a musician. So like you kind of, you know, understand not that it's a hard concept to grasp, but like right away if I am talking to another musician about like art, whether it's like album art or promo art, you automatically kind of understand like what we're going. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
the art guy in all my bands.
you know what? I think that's something that like kind of like has me scratching my head, like with Reddit in particular. I'm in like whatever r/musicians blah blah blah, and I see like so many people out there like asking for free art, and it's just like, you know, either pay the artist or learn to do it yourself. There's not really a middle ground. Like, you know, I've dabbled in like animation and like painting and stuff like that. Am I good at it? No. If like I would definitely be better off finding someone to do it for me. But to at least be familiar with these different things makes it easier to have the conversation, makes it easier to like network and like know where to look for the right people. Pay artists and know what you're talking about, I guess, is the moral of that story.
Yeah,
Um,
you can't beat expertise in
mhm.
what,
Yeah.
what, for people ask me all the time to like make drawings for them,
Mhm.
or to design tattoos for them and stuff.
Mhm.
And I dabble in 2D art,
Mhm.
design, illustration, and pencil and painting and everything else. I'm pretty good at it for the amount of effort that I've put into it previously, but I'm no professional. It's not my main medium, and
Right.
it's like I would never design a tattoo for somebody, because it's like that's just not. I don't trust myself enough. You
And I
know.
guess at the end of the day, that's the beauty of like doing art for your music as like primarily like a musician. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be the most professional.
No.
And like you were talking about that vision before, it just kind of needs to convey whatever it is that you thought was the most important to convey. And
Mm-hmm.
like if it's attached to a piece of music or to an album or just to your music project in general, you know, if you accomplished, you know, hitting that vision, it doesn't necessarily matter what it looks like. There are like, I'm drawing a blank right now because of course I am, but there's so many great albums, even like single covers. They like have like you know kind of shoddy artwork, but like at the end of the day, you know, fucking ODB's got his welfare card on an album and it's dope and it's like a super memorable like album cover. Some what they went to like Kinko's and made a photocopy. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to get too crazy with it.
Yeah,
But I
because
do.
that that
Mm,
that that goes to different music as well. Like, what makes good music
mm,
is not technical proficiency or pure skill or number of hours worked on a piece.
mhm,
It's about the emotion, and is the emotion in the piece genuine, or is your intention in creating the piece genuine and
mhm.
worthwhile to share with other people? And that extends to art, especially art that you make yourself as a reflection of the music you make, for sure.
And like you just hit the nail on the head with the word like genuine. Like I've said time and time and time again, like the most important thing to me when making music or when listening to music is like sincerity. Like I don't care if I agree with what you're saying. I don't care, you know, how you're saying it most of the time. So long as I feel it's sincere, I can believe you and I can kind of at least in theory fuck with it, you know? Like I don't have to think it's the greatest thing in the world, but if I like, oh, I believe this guy, like I'll tip my hat to someone for going out there and like laying it all on the line. And like, you know, metal's good, like, you know, representation of that. I've played in metal bands, so did the other two guys. Like now we're doing some. Oh, that's right. I haven't heard your music. You haven't heard my music, so this is like kind of interesting to talk about in this way. But yeah, I think metal's a good, you know, like breeding ground for like that approach to making music. Because like, what's the ceiling? You know what I mean? Like a lot of great bands never make it past the local scene, and they'll still like die on the stage, you know? And like there's a certain beauty to that, knowing that every single song that these guys are like writing, recording, they're doing it because they need to, you know, they need to express this. It's not like a payday or something to like hang their hat on. It's a bunch of guys like touring in sweaty vans and stuff at best a lot of the times.
Yeah, especially with metal doesn't have the same appeal as other genres, and so you really get some incredible artists that aren't getting the sort of recognition or compensation that you would get from the same equivalent in other genres. But that's how you know that they really do it because they love it. Because no one's in the music business to make money, like.
Right. Well, yeah, no one of any substance or value, at least. Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, I agree with you, and I think like
no one goes into it making money. A lot of people make money, and they're super lucky to do so. But you'd be able to go into that as your retirement plan.
Word. But I also think that there's like a, you know, going back to like you were talking about the Twister community and how nice it is. Music is a little bit different, but I think that the metal scene is actually a pretty good place for a musician to like, you know, sharpen their chops. And like I've for always like said that like as far as like working with other musicians, like if someone tells me that they played in like a metal band for X amount of years, or if they start listening, I was in like 6 different metal bands, like all right, that guy probably knows like what he's doing. Like metal, I will always like, you know, okay, jazz is another one. And then if you told me that you played in a church, I automatically know that you're fire. I don't know why the whole God thing translates into good musicians. Like I didn't spend too much time in like church music growing up, you know, but for whatever reason, those guys.
A business aspect where churches, especially if you get into anything of any decent size, they're very professional about what they do in terms of their music. And when you're talking to other local musicians that have made a following or, you know, spend a huge amount of time doing this, that doesn't guarantee they have any level of professionality.
That's true.
But if you're working in churches a lot, you know, I know plenty of people who don't have a religious bone in their body, and they're out there every single week because the churches value their professionalism and
they pay consistently.
in music.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Like, you know what? Now that you mentioned it too, like I know a lot of people who like, I don't know, no offense to anyone, but couldn't give a fuck about God or the God concept, but are like, you know, rocking an organ somewhere for some whatever congregation, and it's professionalism. And like, you know, it's a lot. I spent a lot of time in like, you know, hip hop too, and it's like, you know, hip hop musicians were fucking terrible with like professionalism, and like, you know, most of the time you don't have a live band, you just show up and like hand your, you know, USB drive to a DJ and throw it on. There's no sound check, there's no real rehearsal. Does the mic work? We're good to go. So like
it's all about finding what you're looking for, because in certain avenues, you know, areas of the hip hop scene or the punk scene especially, like that level of unprofessionalism is sort of a reflection of that sort of genuine character that they're trying to play.
You know, you're 100% right. Yeah, it's true. Like it goes kind of like back to the sincerity thing. Like it, you know, I've seen some, you know, great MCs not even rapping over an instrumental, just yelling over like the single copy of the song. And like as an MC myself, that'll bother the crap out of me. Like, why are you doing that? But like
I see they really care.
Yeah.
People see it, and that's why they have diehard fans.
Yeah. So away from that, back to balloons for a second here, okay? You said that like you were fortunate, you know, to like pick up these skills from your parents. What does your like family and friends like say when they see your work now?
Well, because I I learned from my parents,
Mm.
and then been doing it all around my parents. They sort of were amazed by week 1 and 2, and it's just like then like, oh, he can do anything, like this sort of kind of thing.
Mm.
I'm the weird balloon guy to all my friends. It's just kind of a oddball, but I love it. Like I can't see myself being like a normal person with a normal job, which is why I gravitated towards balloons, because I had never been, I was indoctrinated to not be um, part of, well, we called it the system,
Mm-hmm.
but so that was already very ingrained in me to sort of forge my own path, and it doesn't get more my
I
own
would have
path.
to agree. Yeah, yeah. And like there's got to be like a, a certain sense of pride that comes along with that. Like,
Sure.
not only do you excel at the thing that you do, but the thing that you do is not something people are coming across every day.
And I'm not exactly like super successful on the business side of it.
Mm,
Um, I'm just not that great at the business aspect of it. But I really try with all my clients and what I do. But um, I can make sort of a name for myself, and make a little dent, a little impact in the community, and work with what are my heroes in the
mm.
balloon sort of art scene. And it's not so big of a community that you can't um, make a name for yourself if you really know what you're doing and you work hard.
I mean, that's awesome. And as far as I'm concerned, that's like living the dream, like,
Small enough to be a meaningful part, but it's big enough to be a really cool international community
mm.
with some really amazing things happening.
And you're also like, whether you realize this or not, like you're kind of an ambassador for an entire community, right? Because now, like, as soon as this is done, I'm looking everything up I possibly can about this. I had no idea until I stumbled across, your work. I had no idea until we had this conversation. And
You're
like,
gonna look at one artist.
mm,
You gotta look at um, my hero, the guy that really inspired me to pursue balloons
mm,
in a more artistic way. Phileas Flash. He
okay,
goes by Rupert Appleyard now, but
okay,
he was the pioneer in like hyper realistic balloon faces and stuff, and he coupled
mhm.
that with really great storytelling and composition in a way that just really inspired me.
Now, as far as like, putting your work out there, like I found you through Reddit, but I'm sure, there's other, I was gonna say venues, but that's the wrong word, but other means of like putting your stuff out there. What do you find is the most successful for, the work that you're doing?
I don't have a good answer for that.
Okay.
That is something that I'm trying to improve on,
Mm,
is ways to get it out there,
mm,
because I work really hard at my stuff and I really love it, and everybody that sees it is really impressed and on board with it. Um, I haven't hit upon a, the right venue to really make things go viral, to give the kind of visibility that people seem to want to see.
Out of curiosity, I didn't ask this. How old are you?
24.
Okay. Oh shit. Damn, you're 4 years younger than me. Damn, you're doing it good, my man. All right. So my next question, kind of related to that one, is this like is lockdown COVID shit really making you reevaluate how you're handling these things, or have you been thinking about these things since before we got to this point?
Um, I mean, in terms of just delving into the personal artistic side of it,
Mm,
I've been trying to really push it for 2 years now at
mm,
least, and so if anything, it's just given me more time.
mm,
On the flip side, it's sometimes it is really easy. Some of the best art is inspired by your difficulties, going through depression or dealing with things in your life. I'll throw up one more piece that I did right near the beginning of the lockdown, is when I was already dealing with some depression, but this was sort of a
Literally just looking at this before the call. I love this. Please
was
tell me
sort of
everything.
a representation of holding on to that idea, that artistic vision as just something that works towards, it's like art is a certain form of therapy where you just make it, and all of those negative emotions are released, and for at least a while, everything is right with the world.
And like, let me just, tip my hat to you. I appreciate you going into like such detail about the emotions of making this thing, like these things. I think that, everyone's got to be going through some kind of like mental strain with what we got going on. I think it would be weirder if you didn't. And like for you to not only like talk openly about the things that you're dealing with, but the way that you're dealing with them and quite literally the effect that it's having on you. Yeah, it's cathartic for a little bit, but then you gotta like do it all over again. It's
And being locked up, not going to parties, not socializing as much, not going to museums and shows and stuff. It's it's taking away a lot of avenues of artistic inspiration, just motivation to create in general. It's really difficult. Like I tried to look on the bright side and be like, well, all of my business is gone. Like all my bookings for the past 6 months, poof, disappeared in 2 weeks. But I'll get to create all this amazing things, and I have created some amazing stuff. But like, it's been a give and take for sure.
Dude, thank you so much. Gonna real quick, just like you said, Houston, H-Town on my list of places to visit. Never quite been there. Cool city culturally. Ghetto Boys, a whole like nice music scene over there. What is the state of Houston right now with everything that's going on? And
I mean, I don't want to get too into.
My bad. I'm sorry. As far as relates to you.
Sure, yeah, because I could opine on what Houston is doing or not doing,
Yeah.
especially in terms of the pandemic. But this would just turn into a pandemic podcast. And,
Yeah. No, thank you.
I've never been all that extroverted and going out and immersing myself in different scenes. I've tried to for the most part, just because it's mentally healthy to do so and socially healthy. But I'm very much introverted by nature, and my world is my art and a couple of friends and family. So that doesn't really change all that much in terms of what's going on right now, or really what city you live in, right? Like,
yeah.
I always feel bad when people ask, like, I'm going to Houston, what places should I visit? What area should I take pictures in? And I'm like, it's the same as any other big city, and like I've got plenty of exploring to do in my own city, even after living here for like 8 years.
Have you ever been to the Mark Rothko Chapel?
Is that the one with the big open ceiling?
It's the one with the big black canvases that he just like, did his thing on. I might have an open ceiling. I don't know. I'm just a big, I'm a big fan of his work, and that's just one place that I need to go visit to see some of it.
No, I have. Can you say that again?
I think it's called the Rothko Chapel. It's like a non-denominational chapel where he hung up, I think it was 4 murals, and they're like almost pitch black.
Oh, it's right next to the Meinl collection.
Yeah. I know that when I'm over there, like me being the little Mark Rothko nerd that I am, I'm gonna definitely check that out. Are you an Astros fan?
I am. I don't do sports.
All right, fair enough. You know, I'm a Mets fan, so I might as well not do sports. Is basically what I'm getting to. But you know, I think you know,
Looking at things like the Roscoe Chapel in different areas, like Houston is such an incredible city for um, different like museums and art installations and stuff like that. Like you can be going out all the time and still discover cool stuff like this. I really try to explore as much of the Houston art scene as I can because it is pretty standout in terms of American cities.
yeah, I'm like I said, it's on my short list. It's you know towards the top actually. But yeah, I totally get you. Like I'm in New York. There's people will be like, I've never gone to the Statue of Liberty, and people always like when they come here, they're like, oh, we're going to the Statue of Liberty, and it's like, yeah, okay. And I've never once thought to do that. Like it's something that you see if you're stuck in traffic, maybe. Like you know, but it's an experience. It's like unique, and you know, I probably at some point should go to the Statue of Liberty. We'll see. I'll probably forget about it after this conversation and never do it. But you know,
And I
definitely.
prefer like natural sort of
Hmm.
wonders and
Yeah,
attractions.
we don't got that.
Houston
No.
does not have that.
Hmm.
It is flat and swampy. It's
Hmm.
there's not really any natural beauty in Houston. And I come from Taiwan, which is one of the most gorgeous islands in the world with
Hmm.
jungles and mountains and coral beaches, and it's just an incredible place. Um, so yeah, but what last time I was in New York, I was filming in Buffalo.
Hmm.
We trip up to Niagara Falls, and that was absolutely worth the trip. You know,
Yeah,
I
Niagara Falls is awesome.
visit something like that over like Statue of Liberty any day.
You know what? I agree with you because I've done Niagara Falls. I had the, you know, motivation to see it. It's actually better from the like New York side too. Everyone always goes to Canada, but as far as like views go, in my opinion, the New
Well,
York side's where it's
I
at.
I forgot that Niagara Falls was in Buffalo, so I didn't really
Okay.
ask for it.
Oh.
We were I was stuck on the American side, but it was still incredible.
Hmm.
Fantastic experience.
I thank you so much for like doing this. Or do give you a second. Is there anyone from the Houston music scene, from the Twister scene that you would like to give a shout out to that you haven't already?
Um, I mean, shout out to all my amazing friends in the Twister scene here. Josh from Neverland Balloons, Alejandro, and Louis Balloni. Um, some really great people. As far as music, I've it's been hard to um, keep my pulse on things with the pandemic.
Hmm.
One of my favorite bands, and I don't even know if they're still playing right now.
Hmm.
Just this great punk rock band called Knights of the Fire Kingdom, and they just have some really fun albums, and they're just the most personable guys.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so check them
Thank
out.
you. Thank you. Thank you a million times over for, you know, sitting here talking with me for the work that you did. I'm very proud to be able to like put that on display for like the project, and I'm very have like proud to at least like have had this conversation with you. Definitely gonna like try and make sure that we get this to as many people as possible.
I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to do this. This is actually my first online commission in terms of doing sort of digital
Mm.
digitally produced work for other people, and I think it has a lot of potential to.
I would have to agree, dude. And like, you know, I'm gonna be singing your praises to every, you know, Joe Schmo in New York who's looking for artwork. So hopefully,
To Trina Lovekins in New York.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Trina Lovekins in New York. She does amazing work.
Well, now I'm gonna have to like look that up too. You're giving me like a treasure trove of, you know, clicking here, and I appreciate that. You have a very good night, and I'm gonna stay in touch with you. I'm gonna send you some emails and stuff every now and then, and probably work with you again in the future if you're cool with that.
And we don't have to stick purely with balloons. Gonna
Amen.
stuff in mixed media. That's
dope.
always fun.
I would love to see all of that other like work you've done too. All right.
All right. I'll send you some links so that other people can see the rest of the work.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very much looking forward to hearing the music.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
What's the name of the?
It's just the Lucy's EP. That's it. And like pandemic being what it is, we have the second one finished, but like not recorded, and we didn't even release this. This was supposed to be released in like May. So like everybody's all crazy, but we can just do what we can.
And I don't know if you said this is probably not going to be out before the 3rd, I guess.
Probably not, but
I hope y'all voted. I voted this
yeah,
morning.
facts. Please go out and freaking vote. Like, if you don't want to opine on anything, I'll fucking do it. Like, please do not make me deal with this frog.
Don't vote for the fascists.
Yeah, I mean, he's from Queens, which is where I'm from. He grew up like technically fucking 15 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. I have no idea what the fuck happened over there. We messed up on that one. I am a Donald Trump birther. I want to see his birth certificate. I don't want to accept that he was born in this borough. Shit's weird, man.
He crawled out of the ground like an orc.
Like fucking straight from Satan's asshole. Like, I got no words. Vote that guy out, and hopefully, I'm not even gonna edit this part out. Hopefully, when I'm watching this on November 20 something, I can like clap and be happy.
Yeah. Cheers to a successful election, or let's drown our sorrows. Either way.
Yo.
I am one of those people who actually might go follow through with the if he loses, I'm going to leave the States, just because I've got 3 passports and I have plenty of options. And I've
Dude, if you got the luxury, go for it, like, jeez, I would not blame anyone making that decision.
We're not allowed to move anywhere. But
yeah. Oh, what a heavy way to fucking end this. I'm gonna kill the recording on my end right now.